What's up, banana bunch? Bunch? Bunch?
Welcome to the Jungle Gyms podcast. What's up, Banana Bunch? You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Jungle Gyms podcast. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mark. Hey, listen, we've been talking about this for weeks now. Beer Fest, International Beer Fest at that, is almost upon us. So we've got a big beer-focused episode because we got to actually brew a new beer for this year. So I'm saying this up front, not only to tell you what this week's episode is all about, but also so that you can go to junglefest.com or junglefests.com as well, if you want to go plural, your choice, and get your tickets to the beer festival. It's coming up June 16th and 17th. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll be out there causing problems, sipping on and sampling some new beers. I'm really excited about it. And I think you'll have a lot of fun. I would love to interview all of you. So this is a really easy way. If you're coming to the festival, this is how you get on the show, right? Like, we don't even have to try. I don't have to corner you in the store. We don't have to do any of that stuff. You can just be like, hey, oh, that's Mark. He's clearly the guy in the brightly colored clothing again. But really looking forward to it. Again, shout out to Ferd for having me be a part of this, and we'll dive in a little bit deeper here shortly. Now, those of you who have been subscribed to us on YouTube, first, of course, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. I keep mentioning we got a lot of giveaways coming down the pipeline. I'd love to do some more of that stuff, and that'll be a great thing, and that'll be eligible to anybody that's subscribed to the channel, so get ready there. I've got like concert festival tickets coming up soon. Yeah, I'm just dropping you know what, let's just dive in. That's something that we're doing. Product giveaways, you name it. It's going to be awesome. So this is just my way of trying to say thank you so much for supporting the show thus far, and hopefully to gain your continued support. Now, like I was saying, if you've been subscribed to us on YouTube, we've been working on a series called What's New in the Jungle, where we go and pick up new products that we find in the store and new things that are coming in. That way, it's a really easy and short form way for you to find stuff, as well as people who don't follow the podcast. I mean, who doesn't, right? But to have that on there, that way you can find all these kind of cool new things, and we go around and we try to get a couple things from different departments. But I'm bringing this one up in particular because I've actually drank this soda on the show before. It's a superfood soda. The brand is called Perfy. There are 4 flavors available, and you know what? This is one of those products I helped get into Jungle Gyms. I was really excited about that. But Vasa, the owner of the company, he is a really cool person, and these drinks are legitimately good. I mean, you've seen me drink them without any actual, I had to buy them, right? What kind of lunatic does that when you have so many things here? That's how good Perfy is. And now Perfy is available to you at both Jungle Gyms locations. For me, I love sodas. Obviously, you've seen a lot of soda-related content on the show. We do a lot of stuff with our friends at Pepsi, all kinds of stuff. We've got Baja Blast content coming your way soon. Get excited about that. But for me, I know I'm always talking about zero sugar. And then there's some people who are like, hey, even the sugar substitutes can be unhealthy and bad for you. So I'm trying to constantly be cognizant of that. And what was so exciting to me about this, I'm looking at the back of the can so I make sure I don't say anything wrong. But a couple things here. This, you've probably seen a lot about adaptogens and nootropics. So what's really cool about these, and it's different ones in certain beverages. I'm noticing now, like the the fruit punch one has ashwagandha for mood boosting. The one I'm holding here is tropical citrus. That one actually uses turmeric, which is pretty cool. But they all contain L-theanine, which is designed to be brain boosting. And listen, that's neither here nor there. I find myself generally high energy and also the right amount of calm for the most part. But I really got into this because it was like, oh, wow. For those of you doing the keto thing, this is, what do they call it? Ketogenic certified by ketogeniccertified.com. Low sugar action. There's like only 4 grams of sugar in here. It's all naturally sweetened too. So this is using stevia, monk fruit, passion fruit juice, pineapple juice, lemon juice, guava juice, all the things that they make this. And I believe there is a little allulose too there. But I really like these. I mean, it's a cool product. The lineup's great. My personal favorites are actually the blood orange yuzu and Dr. Perfy, which is, we appreciate an educated beverage. But this is the kind of new stuff that I'm putting out here. So thank you for all of you who listen and come in and check this stuff out. It's a great soda alternative. It's a little healthier. And like I said, they're just a cool company. There's so many cool companies, not just in this space. I mean, I could mention other competitors like Olipop and that kind of Poppy and that kind of stuff. But I think there's so many cool products out there, and we get so many of them in here. This is an easy way for me to just tell you about it. We're going to keep doing those segments. It's going to be awesome. So let's move on from this beverage, and let's talk about beer, because we made a new special beer. Actually, you know what? I've got a field reporter out there right now. Let's go live right now to Other Mark. Other Mark? We're here at High Grain Brewing, just outside of Deer Park, Silverton, Kenwood. No one's really sure exactly what this block of town is considered, but it's a really cool brewery with a great menu, and we are about to make a brand new Hazy IPA for Jungle Gyms. Let's go inside. It's that time of year, folks. I don't even know if I'll use this intro part because I usually say something similar before. So let's just dive right in. Ferd, welcome back to the show, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Why are you here?
I'm here to talk about our new collab with High Grain.
I'm pretty excited about it. I got a watermelon goza right in front of me, so it's about to be a good day for me, right?
You like the sour stuff, so
I do. Yeah, I'm a soft little sour boy.
A little salty sour boy.
A salty sour boy. This is the promo clip. Just us slinging barbs back and forth. Let's talk to the actual professional in the room. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us who you are and why you're here.
My name is Matthew Utter. I'm one of the co-founders of High Grain Brewing and a longtime friend of Ferdinand's. We go back to different positions in our lives and met up again when I opened High Grain Brewery here at Jungle Gyms Fairfield, and now he supports us extremely well, buying a lot of our products and showcasing it on your floor.
Yeah, well, you make great stuff. Tell me a little bit about the inception of High Grain before we dive into the collab.
High Grain inception, yada, yada, yada. Two friends of mine, one being in marketing, the other being in restaurants, both of who I've worked with in the past in different positions, different employers. We all came together and knew that the trifecta of having somebody in marketing, consumer strategy, company development, somebody who has been running restaurants, everywhere from Ruth's Chris down to your, basically a hot dog cart.
Yeah.
And everything in between. And then myself having a background in brewing, both in Europe as well as the United States, seemed like a pretty good team to come up with High Grain. We looking around Cincinnati. To see if we could find a perfect space, and actually the space found us. So the village of Silverton found us, knowing that we were looking for a home to start our project, and they contacted us, and we went back and forth and created High Grain.
You dropped a little knowledge bomb in there. So training in Munich, right? Was that where you were over in Germany for a little while?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Well, I was a high school exchange student in Germany, with specifically Munich, in the late 90s. Mm-hmm. Enjoyed it. Went to a couple universities here in Cincinnati, and then decided to move to Munich. Went over there, was directing myself towards getting proficient in the language to get a degree in German, but then also electromechanical engineering. Electromechanical engineering, super exciting. Had a small, very short gig at BMW as a co-op. Met a bunch of people, had friends. Somebody worked at Polliner. He said, "You're technically minded. Are you interested in brewing beer?" I said, "I don't know. I like to drink the stuff, right?" There's that my plug. I don't know, but I like to drink the stuff. Yeah. So I had an opportunity to follow him for like 3 weeks and realized that it's not just science and biology and understanding fermentation and things like that, but also there's a lot of mechanical portions to it to make ourselves more efficient and make the product taste the way that we want it to come out and taste. So I kind of fell in love with that and switched over to brewery science, but also beverage production.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So beverage production in addition to beer.
So when you say beverage production, can you explain it like I'm five?
Yeah. So during this degree, I also had portions of it learning how homogenization of dairy products.
Oh, cool.
But also homogenization, pasteurization, purification of water, carbonation. Everybody has sodas from bag in a box at your restaurants and whatnot. Understanding syrups, creating those, but then also bringing them back into a drinkable product. Spirits, we touched on spirits a little bit, mostly beer, of course, because that was my major. But I also got to dive into other beverages.
That's really
pretty
cool. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean,
Yeah.
it seemed like such a well-rounded, interesting take on it. It wasn't one I was expecting, but
So are you planning on making sodas at your new place? Sorry to
We-
dive right into that.
We
Please, let's
currently,
go. I love soda.
We currently make a product called, I call it Limo, Limo. And the reason why we produce it is because I like to drink Radlers, but also Rossens. Radler is the mixture of a Helles and a clear carbonated beverage that in Germany they call lemonade. Here we would call it like a lemony, less sugar Sprite.
okay, like a Fresca or something like that.
Yeah, maybe like a Sanpel
Okay.
lemon, limon.
Yeah.
So Brad, the other brewer at High Grain, and myself, at the time we were like, we really want to drink these in the summer.
Yeah.
I think people would also enjoy them, and I don't like to pre-mix them. So everybody's seen Radlers, whatever, pre-mixed, or shandies is the colloquial term, I guess, for them in English. But I didn't want to have that product pre-mixed, so I wanted have Limo on draft, as well as our products that they could mix it with, and they could choose what they wanted on their own, the guests. And also, underage or kids or whoever, you just drink Limo. It tastes fantastic. So we kind of already do make a soda product. I don't know if we're going to dive deeper into that. We played with grapefruit a little bit. Wasn't so hot. We'll see. I don't know, but maybe it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, especially with all it feels like so much of the alcoholic space is kind of merging with some of the NA options, or at least that's what I'm seeing on the consumer side. And I'm always just curious about that. So I
Sure.
thought that was a great question. I mean,
Sure.
I'm up for it. I'll drink it.
And when
know?
you mix them,
Yeah.
you're looking at a 2 to 2.5% beer, like Schafferhofer. I mean, I'm sure you guys carry that here as well.
Yeah.
There's a grapefruit version, there's pomegranate version. They're like 2.5%. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right? And you can have a couple. It's refreshing. You can sit in a beer garden. It's fantastic. I like them. So
Yeah, I'm into it. That sounds cool.
yeah, so we might dabble in some other stuff. I don't see why not. We have plenty of time on our hands. Yeah.
I'm into it. If nothing else, I've got time and a desire to drink as much liquid as possible before
Yeah.
I die. Well, let's talk a little bit about the collab. So, Ferd, was this a you baby first, or did you guys kind of team this up together? Was this a group chat I'm not privy to?
Well, there wasn't much of a group chat. We've done collabs in the past, and
Right.
we did a little draft only, a couple of things for Beer Fest before COVID, and the COVID thing kind of messed things up. But there's definitely people that I've wanted to work with in the city. Like you said, we've known each other for a long time. He makes absolutely fantastic beer. Everybody in his team, I think, is wonderful. And I knew it would be a treat. So, and I can't wait to try it. Like, it would have been, time-wise, it'd be great to have the beer sitting here drinking and tell him how awesome it is. But he did leave it out there. If this beer's not good, it's my fault.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a little
So-
heat on it.
Well, I picked the hops for it. I
I was gonna say I was there. I can
So-
confirm.
They were like, and you get to do this. Like we have the malt side, the wheat based side, set up for the recipe because we couldn't do it all and be like, no, I want this crazy. And like, yeah, we don't have that. Next.
Right.
So
And to be clear, we're doing a hazy IPA, right? Mm-hmm. And then I was, like I said, we might even be dropping clips in as we go. But you picked the hops. So why don't you talk a little bit about the hops you chose?
The recipe's here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had the
We can do- yeah,
And
I
real quick,
brought it.
Matthew, I
I
just
brought
want to
it.
say I bring this up anytime somebody has notes on the show. It makes me so happy.
Well,
Just thank you for respecting what we're
this,
doing.
This is the reason why we're here, is
Yeah.
to make sure that we can bring across exactly what we've created together.
I love it.
It's really important for me. Grain bill for a hazy IPA is fun for me. It's not really cool for y'all or the consumer per se. Maybe a little bit, but when you talk about hops, people are like, "Ooh, I like that one. Oh, the combination of those two are pretty cool."
Yeah.
And that's the real reason why when you guys were at the brewery during the brew day, I was like, "You need to pick them because this is a collaboration. This isn't oh, you're just hanging out."
Right.
Like, let's do this together.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun to be part of the hands-on process. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
too. I mean,
yeah.
I know Ferd, I know you've got to be all hands-on, but it's like new to me, so I'm always excited about it.
Yeah. The hops.
the hops. So we did 6 pounds of cashmere, 6 pounds of Eldorado, 3 pounds of Citra, 3 pounds of Amarillo.
Okay.
All leading towards that tropical flavor.
Awesome. That was going to be my next question.
So going towards that like tropical fruit. Hoping to get little hints of passion fruit. Like I said, I can't wait to try it. I'm super excited about it. It was one of the more fun brew days I've had. So
Yeah. I second that. Again, it was really hands-on. It was fun to watch everybody in action, and like, I mean, I've had fun doing these before, but like, yeah, this is the first time where it was really refreshing to just see us like in the like. I think this is the first time I've been able to actually show up when we're in the ideation phase too, where we're like, all right, this is what's going in this batch. This is what we're gonna make it, and this is what it's gonna taste like. So I was excited to walk through that because I'm still. It's like, you know, I've heard some of these names of hops, but I'm like, oh, I couldn't tell you what the tastes were, you know.
So the hops that he mentioned are in there. And the volume, the weights that he said are correct. That was the first dry hop.
Okay.
Those same hops were also in the boil. I'm sorry, in the whirlpool. There were no hops in the boil because we're not looking for bittering. We're looking for aromatics and flavor.
Okay.
And then the hops that he just mentioned are in its second dry hop as well.
Oh,
so there were basically 3 additions to this beer. We decided to do that while tasting it throughout the process, but also looking at the beer and what we really wanted to give for our first Jungle Gyms collaboration. And the last thing I want is this beer, it's all right, it's good. No, I want people to drink it and be like, wow, whoa.
Right.
You know, and not that I wouldn't do that the second or third or fourth iteration of our collaborations. It's pretty important. You know, this is a beer mecca, this place, amongst other things. And
sure.
If your name's on it, my name's on it, I want superior, right? So Brad did taste it, and he looked at my hop bill during the weekend when it was supposed to be dry hopped for the second time. He went ahead and doubled it, and we spaced it out. So there's 3 dry hops in it. But wow. Yeah, none of them are. The reason why it's not here today and it's not finished today is there is something called hop burn, and if you do crash a beer and push beer out too fast with so many IBUs of hops in there, not even IBUs, but just so many volumes of hops in this beer, it's just going to have this hop burn and, in my opinion, bad flavor. So we're avoiding that. It'll be packaged early next week, and it'll drop here, you know, when the appropriate time.
When you say crash a beer, is that like part of the, I guess maybe that's another explain it like a vibe. Is that when you're taking the hot product and effectively trying to make it like cool it off quickly? Or
everything, the hot product, but also the entire beer. So we take it from fermentation temperature and bring it down to 30 degrees or 30 to 32 degrees. So when things cool, anything in the world, when it cools, particulate drops out, hot matter, proteins, anything else that's still in there will drop to the bottom. Yeast, and we'll pull that out.
Okay. And so crashing it, is that always the terminology for that? I'm sorry to ask.
It's just I say certain terms that I don't remember that aren't colloquial and
no, it's okay. That's why we're here. I'm like, we'll go and teach everybody.
The real term should be cold crashing.
Okay.
And it's when you take it and drop it as quick as possible to a lower temperature to halt anything else that's going on and bring everything to the bottom.
Okay, so it's like beer blanching for better
Sure.
term, almost, right?
Sure.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting. No, again, for me, this is such a learning experience. I'm trying to make sure I'm covering it for not just myself, but for anybody listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard you mention IBUs. I know that's International Bitterness Units, right?
It's
effectively like a way of describing how bitter it is to the palate, right?
It is. I have trouble with the term IBU myself, just because of the perceived IBUs versus measured IBUs is different. And
sure.
Hazies are hoppy, but they're not bitter.
Yeah.
And there's more IBUs in Guinness than most IPAs, and
sure.
it's like, but that's not hoppy, and there's balance. How much sweetness is in there?
Yeah.
I don't like it. When I deliver beer, it's not on my cans. When it's not at when we deliver our beer to restaurants and retailers, it doesn't have IBUs on there because people base their decisions sometimes on IBUs, and I think it's unfair to your palate and to everything. I don't know. ABV makes sense. You want to know how much alcohol is in there. That's important. It's responsible. But IBUs are something that I just don't play with. So
that's interesting.
So I think people got caught up in the IBU chasing, and then the people that were chasing the highest IBUs, the people that didn't want a hoppy beer, got so scared of it. I've heard I can't do over 4 or 5 IBUs.
Right.
It's like you were just drinking the stout that has an 80 IBU. They're like, no, it doesn't. Well, it does, but that's the problem that he's talking about.
Right, that
people
perception.
just they get into this mind. I said it before, and I'll say it again. People who don't think they like dark beer, but they've never had a Schwartz beer. They've never, they're like, I can't do a dark beer because
they had one pint of Guinness.
They had one.
Yeah.
Well, Guinness is actually kind of light,
but
for a stout. But yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm trying to find the most basic.
Well, no, but I mean, some people are just like, it's motor oil. I can't drink it, and it's like, Close your eyes and try this, and crystal clear Pepsi again. You'll hear me say that for the rest of my life.
For sure.
But it's that perceived when you look at it and your brain tells you what you're going to taste before you actually taste it.
For sure.
And then and then it happens, and no, I don't like it. Try more things.
I was just going to ask if that was the tip, right? Is like, should you just be kind of winging it? And like, because like, I guess from my perspective, right, I'm looking at purely from like a kind of almost treating it like guidelines, right? Like I have an idea of what styles I generally tend to gravitate towards, and I kind of know what to expect. But it's like, for example, I mean, I kind of moved away from IPAs for a while because they were, for a long time, it was like just bitterness, high ABVs. It was just like, how should I say this? I'll bleep this out if I have to. But it just kind of felt like a public measuring contest a little bit for a little while there. And then now, I'll try, like, again, Ferd, you've been really helpful for me in that regard where you're like, well, okay, you don't like IPAs, but maybe you should try this one. And then it's like, oh, yeah, there's a billion varieties out there. And maybe following the guidelines is all that should be. It's like, all right, but be open-minded to try. Does that sound like something crazy to say?
Get an IPA on your flight, If you don't drink a full pint, don't drink 4 pints of it. But try stuff out when you go to new places. I mean, when you get your flight, get something light, get something dark, get something hoppy, get something sour. Even if you don't like all those things, try different stuff.
For sure. It's it is exciting chapter of my brewing career as well as Hazy's, Juicy's. Our flagship IPA is a Juicy IPA. But the Jungle Mist, Jungle Jim's IPA, it's the IBUs are going to be low. There are no bittering hops added during the boil. Yeah. Everything happened in the whirlpool, which is cooled down a little bit, so it doesn't extract as much of the bitterness out of the hops. And then dry hopping a beer doesn't necessarily create bitterness. I'm sure that at 67, 68 degrees, I'm sure there's some bitterness that comes through, but what you're getting is the aromas, or the aromas and the mouthfeel and whatnot. So that's really what we're trying to focus on in this beer is again, having the name Jungle Gems, having the name Jungle Mist, the beer, and
I love it. Great name.
Trying to hit, the tropicalness, the citrus notes, papaya, hopefully, and every different types of fruits that come out of these hops and the combination of them. It's new every time. We know what the hops do individually. As a combination at certain temperatures with a certain yeast strain, they play differently every time. So I'm excited for it. It smells great. I smelled it this morning. We were running gravities on it, trying to make sure that we're where we need to be before we cold crash it.
Cool. I was going to say, running gravities too. That's another one I'll ask about.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm excited to have it here. This is a milestone in my career to have a product here that's co-branded, co-created. So cool. Yeah. And it sits here and it sits in my tap room, and we're gonna have a tapping party at the tap room once it's launched here.
Oh, cool.
So that we'll find a beneficiary for it. We do something called Sustainable Suds, where we kick back another portion of the proceeds. Hopefully we can partner with you all about, and figure out which one we want to, make the biggest impact with, and drive some traffic, obviously, to our tap room, because that's sustainability as well, is keeping our doors open.
Yeah.
but also delivering our product to an audience that maybe y'all can reach for us, with us, to help coexist and co-grow.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and that's what JJ IPA is all about.
I love it. Jungle Mist is such a great name. I'm like, I didn't know that was what we were calling it too. And I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. I love it.
Can art is going to be awesome too.
Yeah.
So, yep. Everything about this beer is going to be awesome.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully by the time this airs, I'll be able to pull at least some of the art I can show on this show here, right while we're talking about it. I'll just put it right over my face. One question I did have, and I've been meaning to ask this for a while, and now I'm like finally just have to embarrass myself in public. What is the difference between a hazy IPA and a juicy IPA?
The juicy IPA is not they're very similar.
Okay.
You have New Englands, you have juicies, you have hazies. Hazy is an appearance. Okay. Juicy is a flavor. With this Jungle Gems IPA, it is going to be hazy in color. There are oats in it. There are other products in it. There are things that we do to the beer and the mash profile while we're making it helps us a lot to make this beer optically look like you want it to when you ask for a hazy IPA.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would call it juicy. These hop combinations and the yeast that we used may not make it be juicy. It's going to have tropical notes to it. It's going to have papaya. It's going to have citrus. It's going to have different flavor profiles to it like that. But I don't know if it's going to be juicy. Juicy IPA is juicy. The yeast I use in that is called Voss. It's a Kvik strain. It's a Norwegian strain. People know about them anymore these days. I used it because yeast management is very difficult in a brewery, and yeast management is very difficult when you open up a brewery because it's expensive, and I was by myself for a good while making the beers, so I decided to lean on that. You can ferment at high temperatures. There's not a lot of off-flavor pickup from it, and it creates a grapefruit pith, orangey flavor profile alone. Yeah. Working it with hops that are juicy forward, you can create a juicy IPA, in my opinion. Juicy Truth just came out. I presume they would do something in the similar direction. Not worried about haze. It is hazy. This one is hazy.
Sure.
But it's less about the haze and more about the flavor profile.
Awesome.
New England IPAs, also in that family of IPAs, different process.
Oh, so cool.
So,
wild. I feel like we really could do like a whole day of shows about just all these different processes.
It's fun. Yeah, let me roll, and this could be really long. Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun talking about this, even though like my entire background is older European styles and lagers and Weiss beers and Dunkel and this and that. And I've really learned a lot also from Brad, who works with us.
He was a lot of fun too. So yeah, shout out Brad.
Yeah, definitely. He's helped me understand hop utilization. Timing and just different things about that I would normally not know because I'm more of the traditional style brewer.
Yep. Do you ever? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Do you have a? Okay, I was going to ask quick. Do you ever get to dive into some of those traditional styles?
We do a lot.
Okay,
yeah,
I
for
kind
sure.
of thought so.
We always have a saison on. I think we have 3 pilsners on right now. 3 different pilsners, Czech pills.
That Czech pills, and Brad did the
slow pour.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
what a great beverage.
We do a lot of pilsners. Hefeweizen's on year round. Which is actually the first beer I ever brewed in Germany in '99-ish. When I started working for Koenig Ludwig, we brewed. We were Hefeweizen brewery predominantly, so that's kind of stuck with me. Love the style.
Yeah.
Great with limo. Mix it 60-40 on the beer garden. Pretty rocking.
Sounds really good.
Yeah. People ask. People come in. They ask for. They want a local Hefeweizen. There's a difference between a Hefeweizen and a wheat beer. We won't go into that, but the first one I always take them to is yours. Classically trained. I know where you started. I know that beer is going to be money. Right. And I love it when I see that guy a week later and he's like, "That beer was awesome." I'm like, yeah, buy more. Like, grab some more. Go check out their tap room. So.
Yeah, seriously. And I will say on the tap room side too, you guys have a great kitchen too. Like your food's awesome.
Our chef does well. Christian is a family friend of mine. His wife and my wife go way back, and he comes from North Carolina area, has a little southern flair to his cooking. Everything is scratch. He does an incredible job. It's kind of fun for us to, it is apples and oranges, but it's like food better is the beer better. It's food better is the beer better. It's food, and you will get ratings say, "Oh, I went to High Grain," and they'll put it on Yelp or Google and say, "Yeah, food was great. Beer's good too." And he'll come and make sure I see that, which is cool because you go to a brewery. If I go to a brewery, I expect the beer to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope it's way above average because it makes me happy, and that's why it's called a brewery. If their food's also good, man, like that stars aligning.
Yeah.
Some breweries just have good food, good bar food, and that's okay too. Sometimes we strive to have fantastic food with our fantastic beer.
Yeah.
And we're going to carry that over to our second location as well.
That was my first takeaway when I first went there. I was like, I wasn't sure, again, because like you said, a lot of breweries, the food's always good. I've never had like a bad experience. But when I went to, maybe I'm being polite publicly, right? I'd like the invite still, even if I don't like it. But no, all kidding aside, well, I'm not kidding. That's very true. But when I went in, I was like, oh, the beer's great. And then I had food and I was like, wow. And they pardon my expression, but at the time I was like, wow, they really tried on the food too. Like in a good way where I was like, oh wow, like this was like, it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm surprised I'm thinking about going back with such a food focus, whereas most times it's like just the beer. And I'm like, oh yeah, also I can get a sliced pizza.
Come on now. We don't just get fat from
drinking beer. Come on now. I'm putting on my, I'm on a 25-year long bulking phase, so far so good. You dropped a little note there, second location, huh?
Second location, yeah, we bought an old bowling alley in the northwestern corridor of Cincinnati, Finneytown area. It used to be called Brentwood Bowl. We're out of space in Silverton. We're not leaving Silverton. We're not abandoning it. We are adding for more fermenter space, for more capacity, for bringing beer to a neighborhood that, when we were approached by Springfield Township, didn't have really something that we could offer.
Yeah.
So yeah, they gave us a holler and through some channels, and we sat down with them and came up with a deal and figured out how it would best support both Springfield Township and High Grain and the neighboring communities. And we're doing it. So we are full in construction right now.
Cool.
We'll have a brewery there and a pilot brewery in Silverton. And a pilot brewery that's significant, not a 1-barrel little thing. Like, we have a 5-barrel brewery there. And we'll do one-off batches. We'll do barrel aging. We'll do sour stuff. We'll do goofy, quirky stuff in Silverton. We'll have an event space in Silverton now.
Oh, cool.
With the loss of some of the equipment. So we'll have more room for events and private stuff. And then the new space in Brentwood will be 13 and a half times the size of Silverton.
Oh, wow. That's
It'll
impressive.
be,
Yeah, congratulations.
yeah, it's something we needed, and definitely helping, I think, in my opinion, the community in that area have a place to go that's family friendly, has great beer, great food, indoor, outdoor spaces, games, things like that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it'll be a lot of fun.
Is there a ballpark timeline on that?
Yeah, by the end of the year. I hope to be accepting reservations there for the holiday season. I think that's reasonable.
Cool.
We'll keep everybody posted, obviously. In the meantime, we are turning 4 next week. We turned 4 this week, but our party will be next week. So
Is that when you say next week, just because of the airtime? Is that June 10th?
yeah, June 10th.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Saturday, June 10th. So that whole weekend we'll have fun beers that will be releasing. Christian will be doing some fun food options,
sweet.
different beer infused cocktails, and games for the kids, and face painters and balloons and clowns. It's 90s themed, so we're gonna have Super Nintendos, regular Nintendos,
Awesome.
like weird 90s themed things, Game Boys on tables, stuff like that to
sounds so
play
cool.
in the video game realm, but also like tie-dye t-shirts and the whole
Can we
9
continue to make jokes about why Zach Morris is trash?
Right, exactly.
90s
Yeah,
themed. So.
yeah.
I'm gonna dress like that white paper cup that we all had in the 90s with like the little green and purple.
The
neon
green and
middle.
purple. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to look that up. I bet somebody's made that cup into an outfit.
They're in an outfit, I don't know, but they're definitely running around with that
That
color
design
scheme
again,
for
of
sure.
course. I love that. The 90s, the last great decade, IMO. Things got weird after that.
Yeah.
That's a good time. That's really cool. Well, okay, so let's look to the future, guys. So what else have we got coming down the pipeline? Ferd, you got any thoughts?
I mean, I know that I plan on, as long as you guys are game, to do more collab beers down the road. And I heard something about a collab beer with you guys with somebody else who's not even there yet.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So first of all, I would love to dive in after this successful Jungle Mist launches. I'd love to understand a little bit more about Jungle Gyms and the both of you, and figure out what our next collab could be, and really sink into history and sustainability and of both companies, and really make it organic. So I'm really excited about the opportunity to do that. We don't do a lot of collabs. I do them with things that mean a lot to me, or friendships, or something that has some meat to grab onto, because collabs that happen in other breweries and they do it just cause, and it's not as, I don't know, authentic.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, without getting too deep into that. But we are doing a collab with a brewery that's not open yet. Our friends at Wandering Monster asked us to do a collaboration with them for their opening, which was
that's
I was
cool.
honored. So we are doing a beer with them. It was already been brewed. They came over to Silverton, brewed it with us, and it will launch when they open, which I think is in like 3 weeks or so.
Cool.
It is a lager. We do lagers well.
Yeah.
They wanted a specific kind of lager. We wanted We wanted to play a little bit with new hops, and we did a new style of lager that we rarely see. It's a Zwickel Helles lager, and it will be at their facility in both cans and draft for their grand opening.
Sweet.
And we're going to help them with our distribution network that we have already, get their name out there, you know. And I don't mind teaming up with them. There's a great team there, Zach the brewer and Jason Brewer, one of the owners. They're good dudes, and we've always had a good relationship. And Brad and I are like, yep, accept. We'll do this. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to help them grow, like others have helped High Grain grow, or me as a person grow in the community. So, giving back and doing fun collabs like that, it's cool.
I love that. I think it's a cool thing about the beer community in general. It seems like there is a lot of collaboration. I mean, in like kind of a kinship maybe is a better way to put it, right? Like,
Sure.
I mean, you all have a very clear understanding of each other. And I find that seems to happen more in your space than almost, I mean, I don't see it as often in the creative world for sure, and like just other, how often do you see a couple restaurants like, oh, we've got a guest chef this week? You know what I mean? I think it's really cool that you guys do this kind of stuff.
It is. It helps utilize also other people's platforms together to hit demographics that may not know about you yet.
Exactly.
That's exciting. And again, I'll be the first to say I'm not really a big fan of C-Bombs collaborations. Like, it's a lot of work, and if it doesn't make sense, it could, and it doesn't, in both places don't get something from it, it's not worth it.
Right.
And there has to be, for me, there has to be a history there, or a sustainability route, or some type of a story.
Yeah.
There needs to be a story to tell like this, or else I'm out.
Yeah.
You know.
Just not, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like a little mutual back scratching. I'm into it.
Yeah, we do stuff with the Nature Center, Cincinnati Nature Center a lot. We do things with Great Parks.
Yeah.
We do things with some of our malt providers. Origin Malt is one of the big malt providers in this beer even, and they're local to Ohio, and it means a lot. They've been around for a little bit now, but still under 7 years old, and they're still trying to get everything rolling, and it's exciting to collab with those guys and use their product that's from Ohio. So that's what I'm all about.
I love
Stories.
Great guy, great story.
Yeah.
So, probably should have did a little bit better when I grabbed it. Once I realized that I grabbed 4 IPAs and then a wheat, it goes on a lager.
It's okay.
But High Grain does the full spectrum of beers.
Yeah.
And any of their classic styles are going to be just as good as their new styles. Their Pilsners are out of this world.
Yeah.
Their Hefeweizen is fantastic. So they want a little bit of a hoppy lager. Go ahead and grab the hoppy lager. And all their beers, they'll tell you what they are, and then the name will be in small print down at the bottom. American IPA is called Teddy. The beer got to
I
me.
see
So,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
I called
Nice.
it an American lager, then gave it Teddy. So, like, that's not right.
I'm having Ruby today.
So,
It's been important for me as well to name the beer on the label, on the style, not name the beer. Explain the beer on the label as the style. Because people want to know, like, when I go into a brewery or if I'm in here looking at you have a bunch of beers here.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I really want something with watermelon in it. And I'm going to look for water. If it pops,
there
like
it
it
is,
says
yeah.
watermelon. Oh, it's called Ruby? That's cool too.
Right.
The one thing that we're starting to run into is that people say, oh, I'll have your juicy IPA. And then, our service staff will come and say, oh, here's a Monarch. And they go, oh, no, I wanted the juicy IPA.
Right.
And we're like, okay, well, it's kind of backfiring on us a little bit, but it's still important for me to explain to people with the label, this is what you're getting. If you want to know the name, it's on there too.
Yeah. I think that's actually a pretty clever marketing technique too, because you don't see a lot of other breweries doing it that way, right?
You never order a Rheingeist IPA.
Right.
You order Truth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
They're pretty good at marketing,
Yeah.
but I decided to go the other route. That's okay too.
Well, I mean, why not? Like,
Why not? Why not?
well, it's people come up to our menu, and our menu is set up by style. And they'll be like, what do you have in the IPAs? And it's like, everything in the IPA section. And that's not trying to be rude, but we got 35 people in line, and it's like,
Yeah, you're like,
the reason why I'm behind the bar is because there's 35 people in line, and
Right.
let's help get these people out of line. It's like, what do you have in IPA? And I can rattle them all off, and then they're just like, what kind of IPA do you like? I
Yeah.
got my favorite hazy is this. My favorite West Coast is this.
yeah.
You just want a traditional IPA, go here. You want a double, it's here.
Right.
But it's
IPA is very broad.
Right.
It's very broad.
I mean, to me, it's no different than just walking up and be like, I'll have a beer. Right? I mean, at the end of the day,
Damn
there's
near.
so many styles.
Damn
You're like,
near,
what
for
does
sure.
what does that even mean?
Especially coming here.
Right.
Or
Exactly.
going to a brewery.
Right.
what's good?
Yeah. Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
That's why it's on draft. But what styles do you like?
Yeah,
Sure.
Do you notice our lit up sign? It says, it's all good. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like that one place, we have 4,000 good beers and one bad one.
Right.
But no.
But you should try that one bad one just in case, because you know what? It's not for me. Maybe it's for you.
So there's always that.
That's so
I mean,
cool.
People say, "Oh, it's not bad when they try something." Well, it was never meant to be bad.
Right.
He didn't wake up. He's not gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, "I want to make the worst beer ever, but I want to make a shit ton of it and put it out everywhere." Like I want it in every.
Make some angry people.
Yeah, that's all I want, honestly. Just angry people all the time.
Bad beer and angry people.
Yeah, bad beer, angry people. That's the brewery I'm starting now. I have no idea what I'm doing, though, so it's going to be, I'm going to nail it on the bad beer end. Might just be water, who knows?
Just no coolers, just poured hot beer on hot days.
Hot beers. I'm keeping the air at 80 degrees year round. No one's having a good time.
Why did this brewery only last 6 weeks?
Yeah, or it's going to be the most famous brewery of all time, and it never goes anywhere. God, I hate the public sometimes. All right, well, on a more serious note. So June 10th, anniversary party.
Yeah,
Celebrating the
absolutely.
birthday. I'm
For
ready.
sure.
I got my Super Nintendo. Listen.
Bring games.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a world-class Super Mario World player, I'm happy to show off. Yeah. That's coming up. Obviously, Beer Fest, because you'll be back for Beer Fest,
I'll
too,
be here.
right?
Yep, absolutely.
So that's June 16th
Yeah,
and
won't miss
17th.
it.
Get your tickets now. I've said it every week for 2 months. If you haven't gotten it yet, well, hopefully it sells out beforehand, since I've been very polite about it. But all kidding aside, anything else you want to plug while you're here?
No, I think that's it. I'm excited for the next couple of weeks. We have a full summer. Harvest Fest coming this fall. We're going to be migrating the brewery from Silverton to Brentwood, and then installing another one in Silverton.
Amazing.
We have a lot coming up. So our event presence is limited this year. And our event creation, especially at our home base, is mildly limited. But Chef comes up with new stuff all the time. He just had a soft shell crab BLT on the menu. He just brought his Cuban back. He continues to bring on new and fun items that are very seasonal. So check that out. And obviously, we're doing 4 to 5 one-offs every month. So
Very
there's
cool.
always cool new one-offs coming up. Next sour's a guava raspberry sour. Never used that combination before. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
The Jungle Jim's beer is going to be on draft at our place too. So
That's really cool.
you can taste it there. Come up here, get a 6-pack, grab a pint, do your shopping up here.
Yeah.
Come back to Silverton, grab it again.
Yeah, try that Cuban sandwich, because it's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it for a year.
Cuban's great, man. He does a really good job. So yeah, that's our summer. Enjoy our summer. Swim in the pool, grab a Mexican lime lager. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Super crushable.
All shelf stable beers.
I learned that from you, Ferd.
Super crushable.
How
Cold
about you,
crush.
Ferd? Anything else? Yeah, the cold crushable. I'm just inventing terminology now.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
No, but definitely check us out on Beer Fest. I'm going to try to make an appearance June 10th. Can't promise it because the wife's got to drive me home. Not that I lost my license or anything. Just so I don't lose my license.
I'm going to put a flashing text like he definitely lost his license.
No, I still have it. It's fine.
if
But
you're
yeah, I
gonna have a
want to
good
do
time,
that.
get a
Can't wait
DVD.
for
Sure.
Beer Fest. One of my favorite parties of the year. And
Yeah.
Father's Day weekend every year. They're going to be at table number 1. So make that your first stop. Try the Jungle Mist.
Yep.
And then every other beer that they have on the table as well. So
It's a great lineup.
it is. It's going to be a really good time.
Yeah.
We'll keep you up to date on the launch of Jungle Mist at Silverton as well.
Cool, yeah,
and we'll
please.
have another party.
Yeah, let me know, and I'll plug
Just
it here
keep
too.
partying.
Yeah, I love parties.
Yeah,
I
and
haven't
we
thrown one
always
in a while.
pick a fantastic beneficiary. That means a lot to both companies, and we'll make sure that they're aware of it, and they bring people in, and we'll all drink a bunch of Jungle IPA.
Jungle Mist.
I love it. That's a great way to do it, right?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little few drinks and a good cause. I appreciate it.
Right
Andy,
on.
thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thanks
you
for
coming
having
in.
me
Yeah,
up here.
Of course.
This is
Oh
awesome.
my gosh. I can't wait to try it. And Ferd, as always, buddy, thanks so much. And thanks for including me in this. I appreciate Look, for me, it's a lot of fun. I'll be serious face for a second. But I really do appreciate getting the opportunity to go along on these. And I know obviously it benefits you with us documenting it, but it's really fun for me. Never thought I'd get to have my hand. Never thought I'd get to dump the hops in something in my whole life,
awesome.
So yeah, dreams come true. Even if you didn't know you had the dream, Hey, that was a great time. I love getting to be so hands-on with the brewing process. So, of course, thanks again to Ferd and the beer team here at Jungle Jim's in Fairfield. And, of course, thank you to High Grain Brewing. Matthew, man, thank you for coming in and dropping some knowledge on me. I appreciate it. I look forward to future collaborations, provided, I guess, that this goes well, right? I'm really looking forward to trying the beer, which conveniently will come out into stores the day this episode is released. How exciting is that? So you'll be watching this and you're going to oh my gosh, I wonder when I can try it. Well, the answer is today. Today for you, not for me. It's pre-taped. You get that. It's going to be awesome. I love that we get to do all these fun beer collabs. And there's so many great, talented breweries in Cincinnati and the, surrounding areas. That's really fun. What a privilege, right? Like, I come in here every day. I'm like, what is my life? I'm just in this crazy looking room. I'm trying food. I'm brewing beers with my friends. I mean, it's crazy. This is a really cool time. So thank you all for supporting that. Thanks for watching the show. I hope you learned a lot about beer. I know I learned a couple things here. And on that, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'm looking forward to seeing you all at Beer Fest here on the 16th and 17th. Next week, I've got a fun episode for you too. Why do I always say fun? They're all fun. But we're doing, not only are we trying Smokin' Ed Curry's new The Duel Chip Challenge, but I'm also going to be dropping some beautiful truth on all of you. We are going to learn all about the world of mushrooms thanks to Guided by Mushrooms. I'm really excited about that episode. I've been sitting on it for a while. All the products are in store now, so it's finally time for release. Really hyped on it. And I'm going to go get back to editing that. I got a toy show I'm going to next week. There's a lot going on. Too much, baby. And on that, I'll see you out there all in the aisles.
The Jungle Gyms podcast is recorded in the WJJI studio inside Jungle Gyms International Market in Fairfield, Ohio. The Jungle Gyms podcast is produced and hosted by Mark Borison.